100,000 subscribers. There it is. So just like Wilt, inspired by Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game, I decided to write it on here. I've got one that says 50,000 somewhere, one of the blocks that I use for deficit pools, block pools, things like that. Decided to put it on here just to mark the occasion. What is this? I have no idea how we got here. You guys know this about me. Every time I get to some sort of milestone, I get into a review mode. Birthdays, New Year's, I have this aura around me where I just keep thinking about the past, thinking about just review process. I'm kind of in the review process right now. 100,000 subscribers is massive. YouTube gives you a little play button trophy thing. So even they recognize that to get 100,000 is an incredible feat. For me, it's insane. I'm somebody that started this thing not to become a YouTube channel, not to become a YouTuber. I started this purely using YouTube as a storage facility. I started journaling my training log, trying to keep a training log. Thought, catching video clips of all of this would be really useful for me to kind of track all of this, and in 10 years time to see myself, 5 years time to see myself where I've come from. And the idea behind all of the talking in the videos is purely to see what I was thinking at the time, where my mind was, what I thought about, what I was doing and all that sort of stuff. And then bit by bit started getting people following the journey. And then eventually I started the squad every day. And then on day 377, the video, instead of getting 20, 30 views that it usually gets, it got like 30,000 overnight. And voila, that was kind of the trigger. And basically, year and a half on, what's today? February. So 12, 13, 14 months, basically, I went from 300 subscribers to 100,000. It's a hell of a storage facility, this. So this for me is insanity. This for me is unbelievable. I'm struggling to kind of process what this means. 100,000 people is a lot of people. No matter what you do, 100,000 people is a lot of people. So to think that 100,000 people have clicked that subscribe button, for me, it's insanity, man. It's absolutely crazy. So I want to thank all of you guys for doing this. I thank you for the support. This to me is not a celebration what I'm doing. It's what you guys are doing. You guys are the channel. I'm just one guy making the videos. You guys are making the community. You guys are stimulating the community, the channel, spreading the word, telling your friends, telling your people in your life. And that's how this has happened. This hasn't happened because I did something on my end. I make the videos. I guess it's a 50-50 kind of thing. I make the videos and I share my journey, and you guys are liking what I'm doing, which is unbelievable to me. Because to me, I know a lot of you guys have said otherwise to me, but I don't feel like I'm anything special, man. I feel like I'm just a normal bloke in a garage somewhere at the end of the earth in Australia, squatting. And I haven't won any records. I haven't done anything spectacular. Yeah, my numbers are pretty good. Been lifting freaking for 8 years now. So I kind of feel weird that I have more subscribers than some Olympians. It's so strange to me but that's social media, right? Like, I feel like the people that are Olympians, the people that are the world record holders, they don't have time, I guess, to make videos, to make this stuff. I don't know. It's very hard for me to process all of this. I just want to say thank you to everybody. This wouldn't be possible without you, literally. You are one, I am one, but you are part of 100,000 people. And so if you don't click and support, if you don't do this, this doesn't work. So thank you. I don't know what else to think. It's a lot of numbers. Like Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points and he's like one of the greatest of all time. I've got 100,000 people, even though it's not 100 million people. To me, I'm the guy that's I'm the guy that's on the 12th on the bench, right? And I've got 100,000 followers. Crazy. So today, the whole plan behind 100,000 for a while now was when I hit 100,000, that following session is going to be a big squat routine. So I'll roll the footage now, and I'll tell you guys, how it all kind of unfolded. But I wanted to do this face to face. I wanted to, thank you guys face to face for all the support. To me, this is insanity. I never thought this was ever going to be like this. All right, let's get into that video. For those of you that have tried the big squat routine, you will know that it's an absolute bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. It's a lot of repetitions. You start off with an empty bar. You do it for 20. And you go about 10 kilos and you get to 210 kilos for a set of 1, if you can get that high. The highest I've ever done is I've gone to 170 kilos for a set of, what does it say on the whiteboard? A set of 5. That's hard. It's hard because by the time you get to that heavy stuff, you are already an owner of some jelly legs. The trouble for me today was that I wasn't at my fittest. Yesterday I did a 265 kilo deadlift PR. That took a lot out of me. I'm always surprised by how much one rep in the deadlift can wreck you, at least wreck me. It's incredible. Today I've woken up and my spinal erectors are on the map. They're tight, and because they are tight and exhausted, I had a lot of trouble with butt wing today. You will see in this video that I had a lot of trouble stabilizing my lower back. Simply because the hip flexors, the lower back, the entire core complex is just exhausted. And so because of that, the way the body works with compensation mechanisms and whatnot, it was basically trying to offset some of that responsibility onto other structures, and other structures that are not as strong as the primary structures, and voila, you start getting exhausted. And so I was getting a mean lower back pump on top of the jelly legs, and I just felt off and weak, and it was not a good recipe. So I was persisting. I persisted all the way up until 120 kilos for a set of 10. And on that, at the end of that set, I sat there, absolutely exhausted, wrecked. And I just basically said, I know it's 100,000 special kind of video, and I'm supposed to just hammer the hell out of myself, but this is not going to be productive. I know for a fact that I was not able to get to 210 kilos on this given day. I'm just not fit for it. Yesterday's 1 rep max on the deadlift just took everything out of me. It's incredible. My lower back is pumped, it's sore, and usually DOM settles in. They settle in around 48-hour mark. That's kind of where the peak is. So the fact that I'm not even at 24-hour mark now. I think when I was doing these reps, I was around 16-hour mark or 18-hour mark. I was sore, and so I called it quits at 120 kilos. Basically, that was it. The big squat routine has been on my mind for a month or 2 now. I've been smashing these 5s with 180. I've done 5s with 190. So I've kind of been like secretly confident that I can finish the big squat routine. Certainly, I reckon I could muster the top end weights. So you get to 190, you need to do a set of 3 for that, 200 for a set of 2, 210 for like your final rep, so 210 for set of 1. But the trick with the big squat routine is it's not just about the top end strength. You got to have both strength and endurance. Endurance is something that is it's tricky, man. It's tricky, and it's been on my mind for some time. If you don't train it, you're not going to be good. It's one of those things that you see all the time. And I've spoken about this in the last few videos. This idea that just because you have a 200 kilo bench press doesn't mean you'll be able to do, 100 repetitions with just normal standing push-ups. To my mind and my experience, I feel like that's a walk in the park. But I've seen people who are incredibly strong on the bench press not be able to get to 100 reps on the bench press, or on the on the standard push-ups. Like, you would think that somebody that has such strong top end strength will also have, relatively strong 60, 50, 40, 30% of your 1 rep max for many repetitions. You'll be able to smash out a 30% of your 1 rep max for like a set of, 60 or something like that, even more. But it's not the case. There's a lot to it. It's a completely different energy system. We speak about ATP, CP. energy system, then there's the lactate system, and there's the aerobic system. Those are kind of the three predominant energy systems that are involved when we are doing exercise. So when we are doing a 1 rep max or something that takes basically less than 15 seconds, we're mostly concerned with like the ATP CP system. Now this is something that I've kind of learned back in the day, in high school days, kind of revisited during uni days, so I'm not 100% sure what the time limits are, but I think the lactate system kind of kicks in after that 15 to 20 second mark. Then you start kind of spilling over into kind of this lactate system, which basically means that you no longer can go without oxygen. So the ATP CP system is like you don't even have to breathe throughout that particular energy system. It's when you start kind of getting depleted, then you start relying on that aerobic kind of energy system. I'm not an expert in all of this, but that kind of explains to you why people struggle that are really good at 1 rep max, why they struggle with, 100 rep max, let's say. It's because it's a different energy system. If you don't spend time in that energy system, you're going to struggle. And so, I'm not a big guy. I'm fairly kind of lean and whatever. So it's not a lot of energy for me to kind of expend for doing reps. But nevertheless, I have not practiced that energy system, the lactate system. And so, set of 20, set of 19, set of 18, all the way up to set of 10, like it's light ass weight and it feels so light on you. But because you're doing so many reps, you start getting that jelly legs, you start getting that lactic acid build up, and you start kind of feeling unsure about yourself. So by the time I got to 100 kilos, I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. Like I'm looking at the bar, I'm like, man, like, is this actually 100 kilos? Like, what is this, man? It's feeling so heavy. On top of all of that, the primary reason why I gave up on 120, my lower back erectors are going to be sore as hell tomorrow. And I shouldn't really have come in today and done the pig squat, but I did it because it's a special moment, it's a special occasion. So I gave it a go. I had the discipline, I had the auto regulation. I had, a control over my ego to kind of just call it quits at 120, because it would have been a freaking bloodbath if I pushed to 140, 150, 160, 170. Like I think those weights would have moved, but it would have been, number one, risky because I have lost contact with my lower back and my core. Like even these reps from memory, like 90 kilos, man, like I usually have perfect freaking form with that. But I'm feeling my lower back go at the bottom. I'm feeling it go. I'm feeling kind of like instability, which is my number one concern. I've spoken about this many times before about my number one concern with lifting is the freaking lower back. It's the trunk, man. Like that is for me. Somebody asked me yesterday, is lower back rounding okay in a deadlift? What I said to the fella is, to a degree, yes, but like you need to be in control of it. Like if you kind of round and you are basically resting on those vertebrae, you're resting on the connective tissue, then you are basically that musculature of that core has been overpowered. You got to quit it. You quit freaking leaning into it. Leaning into the structural tissue. For me, it's like when I'm pulling a deadlift or when I'm doing a squat and I feel the muscles are holding, you might be deviated away from the optimal kind of perfect angles of the perfect kind of form. But if I feel like my muscles are holding me in place, that's cool. But if your muscles are holding and they keep letting go, and they get to a point where they're like completely stretched out and completely out of any hope of controlling that's when I quit. And so this is kind of what I was feeling, like I was feeling the back giving out. And so at that point I was like, man, there's no point. I even went to the gym. Like I went to the gym today. It was a hot day, 30 odd degrees. I even put pants on because I thought in the gym usually they crank the damn air conditioner. It's like a freaking typhoon in there, man. Big fans. It's like windy in there. And so I hate getting sweaty. I hate doing reps in the squats. And then feeling kind of in between sets, feeling my knees and they feel cold because I've sweated it out. And then the wind hits you, and then you start drying and then you kind of feel cold around the patella. I hate that. Like, I don't think we should be cold when working out. That's kind of my thing. This is why I've always kind of worn pants, especially in gyms, man, because the damn air conditioner, man. Like when I'm in the garage, there's no wind. It's just heat. It's hot. There's nothing to cool you down. But these damn pants, man, I haven't worn these pants in a little while, and clearly I've put on some size in my thighs. They were kind of restricting me. They were pulling on me. They were just not good as well. So I kind of kept pulling them up, tried to get a bit more comfortable. And so my lower back is not good. I've got that butt wink, and the pants are also pulling me into the butt wink, and the whole thing wasn't really good at all. So this is the last set. I just freaking called it after this. This is a set of 10. It's annoying because I'm sitting here in the garage right now. I'm looking at the whiteboard, and this freaking pig squat routine that I did last time at 170, I ended it. It's a long time ago, man, and to see that I've stopped it at 120. I mean, these weights are moving obviously easy. I can do 120. It's just I wasn't happy with how it felt. I want to get the pig squat routine. I want to get it done, and I think I will need to practice it more and more to do it. Like, I don't think getting to a 220 kilo squat is going to translate to a successful pig squat because of the damn reps. The guy. Oh man, I forgot the guy's name. Tokola. I forget the guy's name. The guy that actually introduced the pig squat routine to me through that video. He's a very, very elite lifter, Olympic weightlifter. His top end squat is like 240, 250, 260, something like that. If not even higher, I can't remember now. It's been a while since I saw that video. And so for him, the pig squat is kind of like a bit of a challenge. Not a challenge. He did it quite comfortably in a quick time. But for somebody that can barely squat 210, pile on those sets and reps leading up to that. I mean, it's interesting to think about what your 1 rep max needs to be for you to finish the pig squat routine. 230, 240. We can talk about some of these things because it's all about relativity. Like if you can squat 300 kilos, 210 is a freaking walk in the park for you. But still, even saying that, it's about fitness. It's kind of like the pull-ups for us. The pull-ups kind of keep you honest. It keeps you aware of your body weight. So if you start struggling with pull-ups, you know that you're kind of getting heavy, right? You're getting heavy. It's like the ultimate precipitator. Same with the pig squat routine. It keeps you honest because endurance work, yes, your top end strength matters, but you got to be able to use your damn lungs, man. You got to be able to process that free hydrogen ions, man, the acidity. You could be able to cope in an anaerobic or like an aerobic capacity. It's a completely different thing. It's like you could have a squat that's 300 kilos, but that doesn't mean you can run a marathon. It's completely different. Although marathon is completely aerobic, once again, a different energy system again, because that's like the third, completely reliant upon the aerobic system. With this, it's more like the lactate system, and that takes a bit of training. So there it is. I gave my best to kind of make today kind of memorable. In a way, yesterday's video is the real celebration of the 100,000 subscriber kind of milestone. But I promised you guys I was going to have a crack at the pig squat routine. It just wasn't happening today because I'm just so freaking exhausted from yesterday. And once again, I'm in awe every single time I get a PI in the deadlift. How sore my freaking erectors get, my lats, everything, my whole back is lit. And I know tomorrow is going to be, I'm going to be very, very sore tomorrow. But there you go. Sometimes I think to myself, you can just pile on the reps so you can develop that top end strength. It's not necessarily going to carry you. If you increase your 20 rep max, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to increase your 1 rep max. Same the other way around. If you increase your 1 rep max, it doesn't mean your 20 rep max is going to increase. It's all about specificity of training. It's all about specificity. And the closer we get to our sport, like me doing sets of 5, that's a lot more specific to the 1 rep max than the set of 20. You know what I mean? And so you can all kind of put it in the same training cycle and go through blocks, and each block carries over to the next. But being fit for your sport, let's say being fit for the pig squat routine, I would have been kind of better off if I just did sets of 20 with whatever weight. And that's kind of what my lead up was to this. This is why the pig squat routine is really tough, because you're kind of doing, it's an overall assault. It's asking you to do the endurance first and then do the top end strength. That's tough, man. That's a tough gig. I got to mention one name today. Another fella popped up on the Patreon list supporting me. His name is Luke Pandula. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Thank you for the support. Like I've said to all the guys before on the last 3 pages, this is the 4th page now. Really appreciate you guys, especially on a day like this where it's 100,000 subscribers. It is absolutely insane. Like I said to you guys, it's hard to believe that all of this is happening to me. I feel blessed. I feel like I've struck lotto. It's a crazy feeling. I appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.